Hi Stampers, this is Karen Phillip. Today we'll be making a pie, and this technique is called Lattice Pie Crust. So we will be making this pie and then we will be cutting out this slice. So let's get started. I use the layering circle framelits to create the pan, which I've already cut out, and that was done with one of the biggest circles that we could. So that's that. And then I will show you how I cut out the pie crust. So we will need two of the smaller circles. One is the scallop edge and one fits right inside of that. We'll put that on our machine and they just fit right inside of each other, and we'll put them through and now we have our pie and our pie crust. Okay, so here's our pie, and then this is the pie crust. And this one I evidently didn't do the smaller, I needed to do a smaller circle. We'll just have a smaller crust on this one, so it will be okay. We go with the flow here. So the way that I did the pie crust, you could do it however you'd like, but I found that you needed to have okay, so this one is smaller than my original, but that's okay, it'll still work. What I found, if you had done this in a scallop and you cut it out, let's see if I have one here, I know I have one, I can't find it. But anyway, if you did that and you didn't have the two pieces like this, then what would happen is you'd cut the pan off to do the technique. You'll see what I'm talking about. So we will set the crust aside, and I have 4 strips that are 1/4 inch by 5.5, and it seemed to work pretty well. I've adhered glue dots onto each end, this end and this end, on each of these strips. I did that ahead of time so it wouldn't take so long. We will adhere the 4 strips about 1/4 inch apart and on one end of where the glue dot is. Okay, and then the last one will just go right here, and it can extend off a little bit. We'll be doing some repairs as we go. Doesn't have to be even, it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is what it will look like, almost like a dream catcher. Now I'm going to trim these off, and these each still have the glue dots on the other end. Again, I'm doing that for time purposes mainly. So now I left these a little longer. It's easier to weave these through. We will take one of the strips, and the glue dotted end will be adhered to either one. It will be adhered right over the top of either one of these, and then we will weave this in and out and put the glue dot as far up as we can, like that. It looks a little wonky, but that's how we'll do our first one. Then the second one, we'll put the glue dot on the glue dotted end on the opposite side, and this one will go over the top again. So we're over, under, over, under. And this gets about, again, 1/4 inch in between. And we'll just push that down. So this side has the adhesive. And then the next one we'll do the same thing, only the opposite end. Top, under, oops, top or under, you weave it through. This goes on the side that went on the top gets stuck down. This is all loose yet. And it looks like we don't need that fourth one, and that's okay. So now I will take my scissors and trim it off the back. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. Oops, don't want to move it too much. Okay, and this one has a little bit more of a edge. So that's how it will be looking. Like that. Now we'll take our glue dots, and these just seem to work the best because they're easy to place. So I'm using my pickup tool, and any of them that are up, I'm just setting underneath the ends. So this whole piece now will have to put glue dots on each end. Okay. Otherwise your pie will fall apart. We don't want that. There's put one right here. And it's just a matter of feeling around which ones are up. Oh, there's another one. Okay. So now they're all secured. Okay. Now we will take our blending brush and our cinnamon cider ink pad and put these two together, not gluing them, we're just placing them together like so, and give it a little bit of baking or coloring. And you don't want to do too much because then it will look burnt. So we can't have a burnt pie. I don't normally bake real stuff, so this was my alternative. There we go. So if it doesn't look like a real pie, probably because I don't know what they're supposed to look like. Alright, now we have our pieces like this. We will just hold them together, not glue anything yet. This one's not perfect, but that's okay. Alright, now I'm going to find an empty space in between here, like right here, and I'm going to trim that to the center and then trim it to the center to make a pie slice. And this piece will be okay. Here you have your little pie crust here, and then this piece you'll have like this. You may need another glue dot on this piece so that it doesn't completely fall apart. Just felt here. Okay. And it looks like a little piece came off, so I'm just going to give it a little bit more baking time so it looks natural. There we go. Now we will put this all on our pan, and you can start with the center or I think I'm going to start with the center on this one. We'll just adhere it. Getting messy here. Okay, so we'll adhere the whole pie, or the pie with the piece cut out, onto the pan. You could do this in a shiny silver, that would be kind of cool too. And now we will put the banded edge on here, or the pie crust. And you want to make sure that you use the side that's got the sponging. I'm using my thumb because it's a little thin. Okay. And we'll put that around this pie piece, or the whole pie actually, over the top. Try to fill gaps so it doesn't look, so it gives it a little bit of realness looking. There we go. And then this piece, we will glue it right to the bottom of the pan here. And so we'll put some adhesive on this pan, on this piece, and this gets glued to the edge of the pan so it looks like it's coming out of the slice. Now we will not worry about this little piece yet. Sorry about my camera here, I see it's going in and out. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so we will add this piece of designer paper from, it's the back, well, it's a piece of the, what's it called? It is called Bloom Where You're Planted. And we'll put that on the front. It's a 4x4 piece. Then we will use a piece of the Blackberry Beauty paper. This has just a little bit of gold embedded in some of the design. Put that on the left side. And this is 1x4. And then I have just a small piece of gold foil, and we will again work that with our thumb to get the adhesive on it, and that goes right in the center here, like so. Okay, now we, oops, that's crooked, oh well. Now we will put our big pan with the pie in it, like this, and we'll just adhere it, and then we want the slice to kind of come out to the right side a little bit, because we will put our sentiment and another pie down below. So that just gets glued on like that. Then this piece gets, normally it gets popped up right here, but because I didn't do the width, the right one, we have to just glue it, because otherwise it won't, the glue dots or the pop dots are too small. But this will work. So that goes onto the edge, so it looks like the slice is coming out. The next step is taking the stamp set, Sweets and Treats, and I'm using this cake holder and the pie. The cake holder is stamped in rich raspberry and cut out, and then I just don't seem to have one right here, but I did cut the sides off a little bit, because otherwise that stamp, it extends out to like these two, it extends that far out. So I just trimmed it up a little bit. I did stamp it in black on the rich raspberry, and I took a Blackberry Bliss blend and just blended the sides a little bit. For the pie, I cut out the pie, and I'll color it for you just to show you how the blends work. And I used a light and dark smoky slate. So the light smoky slate will be for the pan, and it's just colored in here. You don't have to be real fussy. Usually I color these before I cut them out, but because for time I cut it out first. And then I take the dark one and do a couple flicks, and you can see it looks a little bit more texturized. For the pie, I have a light cinnamon cider, again coloring it, the whole thing. And then I'm taking the dark cinnamon cider, I'll use the skinny end, and color in the crust. And then it looks like a nice baked pie. I did also color these little dots. And then I'll use the wide end to do a couple flicks. And that makes it look like it's also got dimension, like that. Now we will add a couple of pop dots, dimensionals. And we will put that on the pie pan, which I don't have because I Didn't have one in the kit. But that's how that will look. And then we'll add the sentiment any way you slice it. I'm thankful for you. And that also gets dimensionalized. Added a couple of artistic blooms sequins just for a little bit of glitz. And that's all there is to making this card. So go have some pie, and this would be a great Thanksgiving card or just a fun card. So thanks for watching and have a great day.